Hello, I am Teresa Phelps Martin, and I'm here bringing you just a little practice to get a tad bit vulnerable, but in a highly safe way, so that we can actually ground our light. We can ground into what matters to us, to realign and reprioritize and awaken that sense of spirit, our soul within. So, in this practice, if it's accessible to you, sorry, I'm doing a magic trick. Have two blocks nearby. If you didn't have blocks, you could makeshift. You can make something up, but blocks are just helpful because they're sturdy and they're lightweight. And have them nearby. Our practice today, we will start lying down, connect to the breath, connect to our intention, and as we unfold the practice, we will unfold into a greater connection with our psoas and a way to awaken some depths of ourselves. We are going to feel physical movement and engagement. We're going to feel this physical nature. But it's hopefully everything is accessible and doable and attainable. That is always my hope, is that we can actually just move our bodies so we can then embody more of our truth and our light. All right, let's begin. Just so you know, in this room, as I record, with me is my sweet dog who may come and be on camera. Have one of your, or actually both of your blocks nearby. You're going to come lying down. Now, if you did not have blocks, you could use pillows, by the way, for this first one. We're going to start lying down in a supported bound angle pose. Knees are wide, tail's heavy, head's relaxed. Hands can go where they are most supportive for you. So you want to adjust to the block so that the legs are supported and there's no tension. So I have tension, I can feel it right here already in my right hip. And so I'm going to respect that and honor that. And even though my left side could go deeper, my right side is calling for more support. I'm going to let my hands rest on my belly. Your hands may be on your heart. You may find you want your hands under your head. They can also just be out by the sides. Whenever we begin a practice, call on the highest. Whatever that is for you, and just call on a divine ray of love and protection. And draw a circle around yourself and your bodies, demanding that no one or no thing can enter or harm you and your being. Feel connected to the breath and let the breath connect you back to the light of your own heart, of your essence, of your truth. And as you exhale, settle into this moment, this time. Breathing in and breathing out. And just feel what the breath is bringing to you. Can you notice that the mind is just so hungry and ready to be here, or is it distracted? Can you notice what the physical body is asking for? Is it wanting to just rest here and not move, or is it anxious and agitated, needing to move? Notice if your heart feels light and joyful and free, or if it feels weighted, maybe even sad, or just confused. And then come back to your highest. And maybe you can tune into that soul's voice and that energy, or maybe we have to get a little more vulnerable before we can connect. But just envision your highest self, your most beautiful, loving, joyful, accepting, valuable, desirable, worthy self, sitting with you, because it is you, looking upon you and simply smiling. And if for whatever reason, if it's difficult to connect to that version of your own self, envision somebody who inspires you, has loved you, has cheered you on unconditionally, smiling upon you. You're going to inhale in, and at the top of the inhale, pause for 3 counts and just feel more expansive around the heart. And exhale all the way out. And then inhaling in again. Pausing 3 counts and just honoring the fact that your highest self is with you, is available, your soul is speaking to you, and that our time here is to gain insights to her grace and to that wisdom. Exhaling all the way out. Inhaling in again, pausing, and just feeling the space behind your heart, in front of your heart, and to either side. And exhaling all the way out. Let the breath just become a nice, natural flow. You're going to slowly bring the knees together, move your blocks just off to the side, above your head, just so they're out of the way. We will use one of them again momentarily. Stretch your arms back behind your head. Get heavy in your tail, so there's a big arch. And stretch your left leg up to the sky. As you exhale, flex. As you inhale, point. My first moment was, holy moly, I'm tight. So notice that first kind of stroke of judgment or criticism, and then come back to the gratitude that you're here, you're moving. As you exhale, flex. As you inhale, point. So the arms overhead are here just to keep our core ignited. When our hands come down, this all softens. If this is too much, hands can go wide. Again, they can come back behind your head too. 3 more times of flexing and pointing. We're helping with the blood flow and just igniting more. And then exhale. Bring the left ankle to rest on the thigh. Some of us will have to stay here, and you're just going to rest here. Otherwise, you're going to pick up your right foot. 3 deep breaths, expanding around the heart, relaxing your jaw. Feel that, yes, there's an opening in your hip. Relax your left foot here, because I really want us to just be more connected to the grounding energy right now to settle our system. And then exhale, bringing the right foot to the floor. Knees are going to roll to the left, and you're going to let your right arm open out to the side. Twist the belly to the right and look to the right. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then hug back into your core. Inhale through the center. Stretch that left leg up to the sky. And then bend the knee. Foot to the earth. Easy, right? Second side. Inhale the right leg up and just flex and point. Okay, so in the idea of getting the blood to flow, lying on the floor actually makes us pretty vulnerable. A lot of us sometimes get scared to get on the ground that we can't get back up, or there's just all of a sudden the realization that we're limited, right? That all of a sudden we had to stop what we were doing, and it can make us feel like we're not completely in control. So what we're also doing is exhale, flexing, and inhale, pointing, to realize that we have a say-so, that we're actually co-creating. We're co-creating with the mind and the body right now, our breath, and tuning in to more of the insights of our deepest, highest self. 3 more times, exhale, flexing and pointing. And believe it or not, each time you flex the foot, you're pumping the calf. So you're helping with the circulation in the body. That's why your leg might feel a little tingly. And then you're going to release the leg. So just let the leg get heavy, ankle to the thigh. Use that core. Again, you may stay here. There's nothing wrong with this. Just being on the floor right now with your foot being crossed is big time. You can pick up, the left foot as well. And just feeling, breathing again. The core is connected, the heart's open, the spine is long. We're feeling the connection so that we can just awaken more. And awaken to our truth and to what's really being called forward right now. Exhale that left foot to the ground if it came up off the earth. Roll your knees to the right and then let your left arm just slide out. Look to the left. 3 deep breaths here. Breathing into the depth of you, the connection of you. And then inhaling back through the center. Arms go back overhead. Stretch the leg up. It's heavy. We're not pushing the hips up. It's just heavy. And then exhale, bend the knee. Feet to the ground. Exhale the knees over to your right. Inhale the knees through the center, then exhale them over to the left, just clearing that little opening, invoking flow out of the way. Inhale, come back through. Draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Okay? So hopefully we've just kind of woken up our legs some. The shoulders got open, twisting the spine. Now we're going to move through a little flow. We're going to stay lying on the floor, which is cool, but realize it's going to take a little effort. You're going to find a block, if you have one, and just have it by your side, okay? Find the feet under your knees, your hips grounded. So you want to feel, if your tail's curling up, we have to stop that pattern. It is over-controlling the natural order of our bodies. So we're really learning how to surrender into our highest self. So the tailbone goes down. We invite a curve in the low back. Draw our shoulder blades into the back. So you're going to feel the chest elevated, the throat's open. We don't want to jam our chin to our chest right now. The head's heavy, arms by our sides. Standing into the feet, inhale the hips up. You can do this with a block, okay? You can also do it one leg at a time without a block. So I'm going to show you with the block. Slide the block in underneath the hips. Hips are going to rest down, shoulders slide in. Elbows are going to bend. Inhale the right knee up, stretch the right foot to the sky. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Exhale, bend the right knee, right foot comes to the earth. Pause, realign the hips. This is where the block is helpful. Inhale the left knee up, stretch the foot up to the sky. And then exhale, bend the left knee, foot comes to the earth. Push through your feet, inhale your hips up. If you're using the block, move it off to the side. Stretch the arms back behind you, balls of the feet rise. Come down, vertebrae by vertebrae. So you're just massaging the spine, articulating it. Get all the way down so the tailbone comes down. You have that curve in the back again. Release the feet. Exhale the knees over to the left. Inhale the knees through the center. Exhale the knees to the right. Inhale, come all the way back to the center. We're going to do that 2 more times. So I'm going to show you how to do it without a block this time. Arms by your sides, elbows bend. Inhale the hips up. We're going to walk the left foot to the middle or bring the block underneath. Stand into the foot. Inhale, the right knee lifts. Foot stretches to the sky. This is way more active. The other one was much more passive. Exhale, bend the knee. Feet ground down. Realign the pelvis. Walk the right foot in. Inhale the left foot up. Stretch the left foot to the sky. Exhale, the foot comes down all the way to the earth. Realign. Arms go back behind the head. Heels lift. If you use the block, move it out of the way. Curl the tailbone up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the ground. Using that core strength. Tail gets heavy. Heels ground. Exhale the knees to the left. Inhale the knees through the center. Exhale the knees to the right. Inhale, come all the way back through the center. Adding on this time. Knees come into the chest. Hold on to your ankles. Allow the knees to fall open. Relax your jaw. Connect to the breath. And then inhale, knees come back to the center. Feet come to the earth. Arms by your side. I'm going to go without a block again this time. We're gonna do it 2 more times. Elbows bend, shoulders to your back. Maybe you're just building up to 1 time, not using a block. Feet are grounded, throats open. Stand into the right foot this time. Inhale, the left knee goes up, foot goes to the sky. You wanna feel heavy in your hips and elevated in your heart. Exhale, bend the knee, foot to the earth. Realign, readjust. Stand into the left foot. Inhale the right knee up. Foot stretches to the sky, settling in. And then exhale, bend the knee. Foot returns. Find your ground. Arms stretch wide, heels lift up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, okay? So each time we take a foot up off the floor, we're vulnerable once again, right? But we're doing yoga, so even if you're just restarting a practice, you're learning new things. Once the tailbone's all the way to the ground, don't stop here. Don't underestimate your own potential. Tail gets heavy, knees roll over to the left. Inhale the knees to the center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, come up through the center. Adding on, remember, knees come to your heart. You can be here again in this reclined butterfly or reclined bound ankle pose, or knees go to your armpits, hold on to your feet. Happy baby. This is one of my probably least favorite poses. It does not feel good in my body, and it's not feeling good now, but some people just love it. So I'm coming back here. You stay in happy baby if it's good for you. And then last cycle. Okay, we're adding one more step, okay? Knees come to the center. Tail's heavy. Pull into your core. So when your tail gets heavy, there's an arch in your back. Now we're gonna hug into the core and bring the shins parallel. Shins parallel to the earth, hands to your thighs. Push your hands into your thighs, thighs into your hands. Breathe here. Waking that core up. So hopefully we've cleared some of that tension in the hip flexors. We're getting that core to wake it up. Notice how the shoulders start to curl up, so bring them back to the ground. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then bend your knees, bring one foot to the floor, then the other. Feet are grounded. I'm gonna use a block this time. And just showing that you can dance between what you need, even in the flow, even in the cycle. Push through the feet, shoulders to your back, hips lift up, finding a block. Or not, you can balance without it. Shoulders to the back, throats open. Walk the right foot to the midline. Inhale the left knee up. Using the block, super heavy thigh bones. Inhale the leg to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, foot to the ground. So feel how even with the block, you might still feel vulnerable. So stay with the breath. Trust in your own capacity. You deserve it. You deserve the greatest, most amazing life. Everybody does. Find your feet to the center. Inhale, up off the block. Move it off to the side. Arms go overhead. Heels lift. Curl the tail up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Massaging the back. And as the back is massaged, we're just using our core more fully right now. Keep unraveling. Heels to the ground, knees to the left. Inhale through the center and exhale, knees to the right. Inhale through the center. Draw the knees into your chest, either happy baby, right? Or this reclined bound angle. What I'm doing is my feet are not together. I'm holding them to my ankles and I'm surrendering to gravity, to the earth. My knees fall open. It clears my neck. It's happier in my hips. But you might be happier in happy baby pose. Go to what aligns with you right now. You might even be surprising yourself. Something might feel better than you thought. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then inhale. Knees come back to the center. Here we go. Option. Bring a block in between your knees. Knees come over your hips. So you've got to find that arch in the back, but we don't want to stay here. So you pull in. I like the cue that Pilates gives, is that you have a little tiny blueberry that you don't want to squish. You get into a neutral spine. Ribs are pulling in. Core's wrapping in. Knees are over your hips, feet are parallel to the ground, the shins are parallel. Hands come to your thighs. Push your hands into your thighs, thighs into your hands. Squeeze into the block. You're waking up your inner thighs. You're getting your core awake. Hands are pushing into thighs, thighs are pushing into your hands. See if you can go for 10 breaths here. Maybe you're just going to do 2 sets of 3. Maybe you're going to do 2 sets of 4, but go for 10. You want to breathe into the upper part of the chest. Shoulders are grounded, head's heavy. It is harder than it looks. Even I'm starting to shake. I don't usually use the block, and holy moly, it's waking up a lot in me. Enjoy. This is part of being vulnerable, right? And it's giving us evidence that we can ground into something bigger, bigger than we imagined. And we hold the capacity. We are resilient. And so in that resilience, we can rise. Oh yeah. I don't typically count. I usually wait till I can't handle it anymore. So I'm going to say that's 10. Relax your feet. Move your block off to the side. Bring the feet to the ground. Stretch your arms long. Stretch your feet long. Lengthen the spine. And as you grow long, you're going to push through your heels. Okay? Feel the inseams of your legs grounding. Ooh, excuse me. It'll make a bigger arch in your low back. Deep, full breath in. Deep, full breath out. And then bend both knees. Okay. You may or may not like me, but I'm sorry. We're going to do this one. Arms by your sides. Shoulders to your back. Inhale your hips up. You can use the block. It's just if you're going to use the block this time, you pull the block back some so your tail can hang off. Okay, so you get a little heavier. I don't like this one for my back. So I would actually, if I was using the block, I would take it down a notch and just have my tailbone tip a little bit. Okay? Otherwise, you can do it without the block. You're just not up as high. All right? We're going to keep the shoulders to the back, rib cage pulling in. So we're not a big puffy heart. We're contained. Stretch your left leg out. You got to push through the left inner heel and just get a big internal rotation into that left leg. And then you're going to stretch your left arm by your ear. 3 breaths, making a connection through that whole left side line of the body. I call this the rivers of the side body. It's something that while I was in India and studying Ayurveda with Shiva Ray and James Bailey at the time, that well, at the time they were together, okay? But they're both amazing practitioners in their own arts. And it was just the experience that came through and all the practices of Ayurveda and yoga that I got to. Honestly, it was a total indulgence. But waking up this channel of the left side so we can have a clearer channel of connection from our highest self all the way into our earthly nature and our earthly nature back up into our highest self, as above, so below. And then exhale, use the core, arm comes by your side. I have long arms, I like to be here. You might like being here. And use that core, stand into the right foot, bring the left foot back. Notice how you can breathe more easily on that left side, or maybe you're just happy to breathe. Okay, here we go, second side. Again, ribs are in, we're not all puffy and poochy. Hug in, stretch the right leg out long, push through the right heel, okay? You're internally rotating the leg, drawing into that right side line all the way through the throat, so that's why the chin's not closed. Stretch the arm by your ear. Your armpit's moving down, and you're drawing the shoulder to the back, throat's open. Breathing again, from the edges of your being into your core, and from your core back to your edges. From your roots to your truth. And from your highest back down to your roots. Big inhale in. Big exhale out. And then bring the right arm down. Throat's open, using your core. You're not picking up from your foot. You're using your core to bring your foot in. Stand into the earth. Hips lift up. Move the block off to the side. This time we're going to lead differently. You're going to tilt the pelvis and lead with your inner thighs. Keep that strength. Keep that volume till the tail comes to the ground. And then you're going to stretch your rib cage up towards your head. You have to push into the head a little bit to clear the back that way and let the arms relax. Big deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a gentle hug. We're not picking the head up. We're not cranking the back into a forward bend after that really deep back bend. Now what we are going to do though is bring the hands back behind the head and lift the head off the ground. Yep, snuck that one in, didn't I? So you might just be here, right? Knees are bent, hugging in, shoulders come into your back. And if you're just re-establishing a connection to your core, bring the block in between your knees. Nothing wrong there. Our core is so sacred and we have to get to the floor to bring it to life, so it doesn't happen for a lot of us. So now we're seeing that getting to the ground and being vulnerable and settling our system so that our system can trust in us. We can do more. Hands are holding your head. You can be here, or we're just gonna stretch, right? You're gonna keep that internal rotation. Left leg goes long, lift up a little higher. You're not lifting with your head, you're using your core. Draw the knee in, right leg stretches out long. It's not externally rotated, it's internally rotated. Lift higher, inhale, bring the knee in, left leg stretches out. Draw it in, right leg extends. Draw it in, left leg extends. Draw it in, right leg extends. Draw it in, use your breath. Exhaling out, inhaling in. Exhale, really hug the core in. Inhale. Exhale, stretching out. Inhale, drawing in. Exhaling out. Inhaling in. Whoa. Exhaling out. Inhaling in. So you might be wondering, when will this ever end? Even if you were just staying here, it's a lot. Keep going. We want to stimulate the viscera. We want to get the core and all the blood flowing to this area of our essential self, because this is what's going to speak to us. So if we can strengthen it, we can be so much more powerful in our lives, mainly because we just embrace the truth of who we are. Let's do 3 more. At least you don't have to talk through this. And notice how the movement, this is something that Pilates taught me, is very rhythmic. There's as much resistance outward as there is inward. It's such a powerful play of the biomechanics of our body. Oh my goodness. And then come all the way back in. Let the head come to the earth. Bring your feet to the ground. We're going to walk our legs out long. Stretch our arms back behind our head. Big breath in. Big breath out. Just stretch it out. Oh man, if you did that, that's awesome. Good work. Nice job. So now here's the deal. You can feel your core waking up, right? Do you feel that there's this volume inside, not out of defeat, but out of feeling alive? And that's what we're going for. Okay, bend your knees, roll all the way over and come up seated. Bring your blocks with you. And as they come with you, your feet are going to move over. I'm going to face you so it's easier to see, okay? You can face whatever direction you want. And as you turn and you get the right hip grounded, you're just going to rotate. Right thigh in, left leg. You turn the left thigh bone in and then let it relax. Okay, and in that movement, we're just clearing out. So when we work our core, we're waking up our psoas. Our psoas connects to the amygdala, but I don't want to go there right now. Just what can happen is it can tense up and it can make it hard to not connect to our feet. So we're just clearing out any tension that rose. We're just, like, hey, guess what? I feel misaligned. I'm going to intentionally realign. Turn the thigh in, lengthen the spine, stay really connected to the core. Left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. We're not forcing a twist here. The left inner thigh is moving in. You're your core is in and you're twisting, right? Let Lulu even be that reminder. Go easy on yourself. Shoulders to your back. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. And then inhale, come back through the center. So hopefully this position is accessible, even for my friends who have a lot of knee issues. You're gonna open your foot out a little bit wider. You might even need to have something under your leg. Then we're gonna fold over the right knee. If you had 2 blocks or 2 pillows you could prop up, you're just gonna fold over so your elbows come on to the blocks. Some of us have no problem folding all the way to the earth. So go where it's gonna work for you. Since I have them here, I'm gonna use it. You can even bring the block under the head. You have to evaluate. My mind's saying, actually I'm good. And then just folding over. Big full breath in. And a big full breath out. Exhale out completely. Ground into the earth with your legs. So push the bones of your legs to the ground. Draw into your core, lengthen the spine. Inhale, come all the way up. Keeping the right knee down, you're gonna pick the left leg up and stretch it out. Sometimes we have to pull that right knee back in to let the hip really reset itself, maybe not. I shared in the beginning that I have a lot of vulnerability in my right hip. Widely enough, it's because of just a few things. I don't have the full tendons and ligaments in my right side. So I have to honor that. You have to honor you, and that's what we're doing here is we're getting to know ourselves where we are. We're getting vulnerable and realizing that we're mortal beings, right? We're not gonna live forever. And so we have these limitations, which is why we want to respect the vessel that's carrying us and honor it, because our soul chose to embody. Okay, a little kind of nugget for you to think on for a little bit. So here you are. Your knees are going in 2 different directions. You may have to move your right foot further away. It may come in closer. We're going to bring the blocks into the center. You're going to push, let's do it this way first. You're going to push your hands into the blocks and lift your hips up if you can, and then just re-land. It's a simple thing, just lifting up, re-landing. If you got your bottom off the floor, like where the bone was barely off the floor, great, but there's still a lot of flesh, beautiful. You're here, push the hands into the ground, draw the shoulders into the back, and just lift the heart. So the hands are on the blocks, shoulders are to the back. There's so much core working. What I want us to do is not force our legs anywhere, really feeling support. And I'm gonna cheat because I have lots of props. But you might need support. This is what my leg's telling me, to put support under that knee so I can get more length. It's just that our bodies hold wisdom and we want to respect them. Being a yoga teacher for so many years, there was a very long period where I put the poses as superior to the wisdom of my body, and let's just say it's caused injuries that I'll always have. So you remain the priority, and you honor yourself, and you're getting to know yourself. So here we are, we're lifted, lots of core, we're just seated. We're not folding anywhere, hands are here, shoulders are to your back. It's just countering all of this that we do, right? Probably what you even had to do to hit play on this virtual yoga offering. Now here we are, we're gonna move the blocks out of the way. And we're gonna stretch the right leg out, whoo yeah, and bend the left knee and bend the right knee. Okay, so we just switch sides in a very easy way. You're gonna end up turning on your mat even more. I already turned on mine. And so now you're gonna feel turning the right thigh in and turning the leg out. As you turn in, right, especially hopefully you'll watch this again and again. Anytime you just need to ground and realign, that you can use the right thigh turning in to inhale and exhale. So that as you're inhaling, you're really waking up into the back of the rib cage, so that as we breathe, we're clearing. We're not just stopping here, we're getting all the way up through the neck and shoulders. And here we go. Turn the thigh bone in. Maybe you needed those 2 blocks. I'm getting ahead of myself. Turn the thigh in, lengthen the spine, so the legs internally rotating, core is alive, shoulders are lifted, they're into the back body. We're not pulling down. We're just embracing the heart. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you, twisting. Breathing. It is such an accessible twist that does so much. Although it looks beautiful, but it gets shortchanged a lot. Not a lot of people do this twist. Kind of that movement of power yoga I was in, and it's great and it's amazing. And sometimes I still teach that way. But we also want to make sure we move into these places where our system really settles and we feel the power that way. Not because we kind of work it out, we actually lean into it. Inhale, come back through the center. And guess what? I mean, most people just don't want to get vulnerable. You're going to lengthen the spine. Again, maybe the blocks are here, right? And you rest here, soften the area of the shoulders. We're not curling in. We're lengthening out. So you can be here or move the blocks out of the way. You can come all the way down to your forearms. Maybe you use that block for the head. And maybe you don't. So as we pause and breathe here, breathe into your belly. It'll move it more into the back body. And breathe into that ability just to connect to the pause, to connect back into what's really valuable to you, what you truly appreciate. And when we get into that energy, it's easier to receive those higher vibrations, that higher guidance, our wisdom of our being. Exhale out completely and pause. Push into the ground, draw into the core, lengthen the heart, and then rise. It's such a great formula. Root, connect, expand, rise, okay? Free the right leg out long. Both hips are grounded. And sometimes you have to readjust your clothes after just folding. So honor that. Hips are both grounded. Remember, I had to do it on the other side. I didn't need to do it on this side, but I just want to make sure you have the option. It's so amazing. Now that I know what I know about my right hip versus my left hip, and I discovered it when I had my first child, which was 38 years old. And so it's this really crazy anomaly that it took this transition into motherhood to discover what had given me so many problems for so long. And so now I actually see this anomaly as a blessing. It's actually a miracle I have my children. And that in this blessing, it's another teacher and guide for me to honor my body, to honor the fact that I've been given this vessel that is pretty amazing and freaking resilient, that I can tend to it rather than trying to push it into something that it doesn't need to be in. Like, there's no slaying. I got no problem with it, but we're not slaying our souls here. We're actually really aligning and building and renewing that confidence So we get a little vulnerable. Maybe the block's under the knee, maybe not. Hands can come back behind you, and I didn't show this. If you didn't have blocks, you just push through your hands, okay? On your fingertips, shoulders to your back, lots of core strength, and lift it in the heart. Clearing the head, the neck, the jaw, and breathing here, right? Breathing in this greater refinement. We're really realigning. We're reforming the connection to our own strength that we all deserve. Now it's hard to keep your core engaged and breathe deeply. So just on this side, notice how much work is happening where we're really supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to be easy, but there's a lot of work. And as you exhale, exhale out completely. Move the blocks off to the side. You're gonna unravel your legs. So I'm gonna turn back to the front. Actually, let's do this. Let's be clear. Both feet go wide. Woo! Yeah. Talk to your inner thighs. Let your hips go. This is probably the most vulnerable pose for Western people. Because guess what? Our Western culture doesn't sit on the floor. Our Western culture definitely doesn't sit with our legs wide unless you were a dancer or found yoga at a young age or were a gymnast. It's just not in a lot of our stuff. To get on the ground, it just all of a sudden feels like things really slow down. But fortunately, people are realizing and discovering that when we slow down, it might be uncomfortable, but we find more clarity. And that's what this practice is all about. Getting into that clarity, creating the space for grace to come alive, to really have the revelation of our own wisdom come through and speak to us. So feeling that stretch through your legs, hands can come back behind you. If you're digging the blocks, then enjoy them. Shoulders to your back, lift through your heart, just stay heavy, and 3 breaths here, because I've already talked for a while. Surprise, surprise. And then as you exhale, exhale completely. We're gonna move our blocks, front edge of our mat. We're gonna turn to the front edge. So you're gonna bring your legs together, come up onto hands and knees. And as you're on your hands and knees, we're gonna exhale, round the back. And inhale, open the heart. You're gonna point your feet this time as you exhale, round the back. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round the back. You're just gonna push your hands and try to get your knees up off the floor a little bit. Really pull into your core. Knees come down. If you can, if it's okay on your knees, tuck your toes. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, untuck the feet. Round the back, pull the belly in, lift the knees up. Knees come down, toes tuck. Inhale, open the heart. So we're just making a bigger connection from our mind all the way to our feet. Exhale, rounding. Knees come down, inhale, open the heart. Last one, exhale, push your feet, round the back. Inhale, open the heart, tuck the toes. This time we're gonna pull our hips back, hug everything to the midline. So you're hugging the bones in, the muscles are working. You're not kind of letting everything just drop in. There's resistance because really what we're doing is we're embracing. The arms are hugging in, the shoulders are hugging in, the legs are hugging in, the core is hugging in, lift up and back, downward dog. And just 3 breaths here. See if you can avoid pedaling it out. It will come, but just feel the breath here. Clear the neck, the jaw. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Then lift the heels, bend the knees, pull into your core, walk forward. Find the feet beneath you and exhale, bow down. Relax the neck, relax the jaw. Push into the feet, hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding forward. We're gonna bend our knees. If you have the block, you can bring the block. This is really good to find just a reconnection to our inseams which usually are underdeveloped. Even my part of my quad is probably the weakest part of my quad. I'm strong out here, I'm weak on the inside. So finding the block, knees point straight ahead and then adjust the feet. I'm a firm believer that we allow our feet to adjust to support the knees. The knees are sacred, they're vulnerable. And so we let our foundation hold and support what's vulnerable. Bend the knees, hug your outer hips, hands to your heart. So still grounding, it's still strong. Core is pulling in. I know I have a loose shirt on. Core is pulling in. Hands are pushing in, shoulders are to your back. 3 more breaths. And then exhale, fold all the way forward. Move the block out of the way. Grab both blocks. Bring your feet back in slightly, bend the knees. Left foot's gonna go back into this lunge. Notice I have 2 blocks. They are under my shoulders if you're blockless. Hands come to the ground. Bring the back knee down to the earth. So when your back knee comes down, you want to be lunging forward. You don't want to come down onto the knee this way. It'll hurt the kneecap. You want to lunge forward, knee comes down. We're going to untuck the foot. Chances are, if you untuck your toes, it's easier on your knee. You could always push into the foot, re-lift the knee, ground. We're pushing into the blocks. We're not letting the legs split and splare apart. We're using that physical strength we just woke up, pulling the legs together, drawing the belly in. There's a little bend to the elbows so the shoulders can draw back, and then you're curling the heart here. Hug in. So legs are pulling in, belly is pulling in. You feel that inseam of your back inner thigh awake and alive. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then as you exhale, lunge forward. The hips are going to move back. Move the blocks back. Flex. So I had to pick my foot up and extend my leg, okay? Sometimes what I'll do is move my back knee back, and then I have enough extension. So just do the one that works for you. To be honest with you, I just don't want my toes hanging too far off the edge. It feels weird right now. So flex the right foot, relax your toes, draw the outer right hip in, draw into the belly, and then just soften the heart. Holy moly, do I just feel all the way into the sole of my foot. And feeling that connection running through the hamstring. The hips are pulling back, just really extending. Now, remember when we were lying on our back? I know I'm giving you a lot of information. And we had that blueberry engagement. So you want to hug your outer hips in, and your pubic bone's heavy, as is your tail. So you want to feel the evenness of that rooted energy that's grounding you. And then as we exhale, we're going to lunge forward. Back knee lifts up. It's going to take a little bit of a giant leap, so walk the blocks forward, step it forward, and it may have been that you actually had to hop the foot and then step it forward. Exhale, folding over, relax the neck and jaw, bend the knees, block to your inner thighs again. I'll do the one that's easier for you to see. Block to your inner thighs if you have it, otherwise, if you didn't have the block, bring the knees together, bring the feet together. Really hug into that middle so you feel that connection of it all. Hands to your heart, shoulders to your back. Core is hugging in, okay? And feel that connection, shoulders to your back. Breathing. So remember at the beginning I said all poses are accessible. There's nothing overly fancy we're doing. But the way we're doing it is what's radical and what's powerful. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Find the blocks again if you're using them. Knees bend, right foot goes back, right? So you're in this lunge. Knee comes to the earth. Untuck the toes. Find the hands under your shoulders. So you're gonna pull the energy of the legs together because the back right hip wants to open to the right and the front outer left hip wants to swing forward. So you have to draw them together. It's an internal rotation of the front leg and more heavily externally rotating by pulling the outer hip to your tail of the front leg. Back leg is the internal rotation. Draw into the core. So it's the opposing energy, which is what we've been doing this whole time. We've been balancing the engagement of how do we contract and expand to really embrace ourselves and surrender to renew. Stay with the breath, elbows bend slightly, shoulders drawn to your back, heart's opening. If you're not sore after doing this class, then we're not engaging enough. We're not connecting to all the tiny little microfibers of our being. And that's what's really what we want to wake up, so that we know we're being supported, nourished, and guided. Exhale out completely, hug into your belly. Inhale the hips back, right? You're gonna move the blocks back, extend the leg, draw that outer hip back. So while the flow is pretty straightforward, it still flows, okay? There's still a connection of movement, so yours may not look like mine. Not only have I taught yoga since 2003, I started doing yoga when I was in my early 20s, and even before that I was a ballet dancer starting at age 6. So there's only really been probably less than 10 years of my entire life where I haven't been moving in a flow-like arrangement. So it's why I'm actually walking more, is because I need to wake up other muscles. Okay, so enough about me. Flex your foot, draw into your belly, draw your outer left hip back, because this is about you. This is about you owning your perspective, your experiences, your lessons of life, and how that makes your offering so essential. Okay? I'm breathing here, lengthening the spine. This side's not as tight for me. So what I can summarize the wisdom of my body is that there's something contracting extra on my right side that I need to be okay with and not push into. And then as we exhale, slide the foot in, lunge, toes tuck, knee lifts, right? Walk the blocks forward, step it forward. Both feet are under your hips. Exhale, fold all the way over. Bend the knees, block or no blocks, up to you. Right, I'm gonna bring my feet together, my knees together. I'm hugging my outer hips, pulling into the belly. Shoulders are drawing into the back, hands to the heart, 5 breaths, palms pushed together. I call this huddle pose. If you need to be here, be here. And in this, what we're doing is we're fortifying the strength we contain. That sounds so fancy, but we're really just being responsible, radically responsible, and knowing that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we're actually toning our physical self so our spiritual self can speak through us and communicate more clearly. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Heel toe the feet apart. Turn the feet out, and we're gonna go into Malasana, a squat. Some of us, this is gonna be our squat. It's just our knees need us to be here. Some of us are gonna come all the way into the squat and be like, just heaven. It's heavenly to me. Some of us can find heaven comes to a screeching halt and be on a block. Meet yourself where you are. You can also find, I can be on a block, but I just need to give my feet more room and my knees more room, and go for it. Wherever you end up, I want you to feel, right? Even if you're here, there's a softness in the heart and a length in the spine. We're gonna move the palms apart. And my friends who are here, if you're like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna be here. You might find that you just wanna come all the way here. Okay, and I'll give this to you. All right, do the one that works most for you. Lulu wants me to turn towards you. I'm gonna choose block, hips grounded, feet out. So this is a mudra that I don't know the name of, but my daughter and I call it unicorn mudra. And unicorn mudra is just that reminder that magic is possible when we really work on co-creating with our own miraculous nature. And the miracle is that we can just shift our perspective. So it'll be funny that Lulu's going to be playful while we breathe and meditate. Fingers come together. We're going to bring them out in front of our heart. Right? Your arms are going to rest on your knees. If you've come seated, I respect it. Do what serves you. You're going to feel the fingertips pointing forward from your heart center. And if you need, blow 3 times into the triangle of your hands. And then just let it rest in front of your heart. We're going to allow the eyes to close. And feel our breath. Simply inhaling in and exhaling out. And all I'm going to ask is that you feel the rhythm of your breath as you inhale and you exhale. There's no control. You can engage with the glottis of the throat. You can engage the breath for more of that ujjayi breath. It's not necessary though. But it's really about the breath breathing you. That we're co-creating with our life force. That we're co-creating with our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual selves. So just letting the breath, the inhale and the exhale. And feeling that connection. Allow for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Letting go of any expectation of what was to happen. And celebrating that as soon as you decided to breathe more deeply, the breath came rushing to you. Demonstrating the power of choice. Bring the palms together in front of the center of the forehead. Let the head bow down, let the fingers move forward, and the palms are going to turn up. You're going to open your eyes looking into the palms of your own 2 hands. If you're still seated on the block, great. If not, great. You're going to come into that seat, bring your blocks with you, or maybe grab a blanket or pillows. You're going to come lying all the way down. I have the bolster, so I'm going to be sweet to myself. Lulu commends it. Oh. You're going to come lying all the way to the ground. My sweet girl. See, dogs love it when you come to the ground. They give you kisses, they sniff in your ear. So just know it's just a little sign from spirit reminding us, saying good job, good work. We're more receptive, we're more lovable. Once you come to the ground, check in, adjust yourself, let your arms be by your sides. If you don't have the support, then you can just be here. Just let the legs go. I actually feel better without it. And once you come all the way to the earth and all the way to the ground, feel the connection to your breath, the joy in your heart, the gratitude. And you're simply going to be here and allow the breath to flow through you. As you inhale, feel that expansive quality of aligning more fully to yourself because you made yourself a priority. You decided to show up. You valued your whole nature. And as you exhale, just settling into the resilience, the appreciation, and the connection. And when we come into these moments, we're more easily able to receive insights, wisdom, messages, guidance. We can hear more of the voice of our spirit. Just as you are. Enjoy a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Just as you are, feel the breath enlivening the truth of who you are. Inhaling and exhaling. Just as you are, feel the awakening of your own awareness more fully connected to the beauty that you hold. Inhaling in and exhaling out. And allowing that beauty to transpire from the wisdom within. As you breathe in and breathe out, wiggle your toes and your fingers. Stretch your arms by your ears. Big inhale and a big exhale. You're going to bend your knees and feel 2 feet on the ground. Feeling more capable of standing in your own light. Roll to the one side that feels best for you. Pause and feel that renewed connection to you. Everything we need, we contain. We just have to slow down and drop in and receive. Take the top hand, push it to the earth, and slowly come all the way up into your comfortable seat. Feel that the world is ready to play with you. And once you find the seat that works best for you, sit well into your two hips. Thank you. Lengthen your spine. Notice how much easier it is to receive that love. Aren't you the sweetest? Bring the hands together at your own heart center. And as your hands come together at your own heart center, honor that love that is seen within you, that you can share. Because you've seen it inside of yourself, it's so much easier to not only see it in the world around you, but those that you love, that you'll be able to connect with the clarity and the insight to pathways that allow for the transformation you're so hungry for, that restore your commitment to making yourself a priority and listening to the voice of your own soul that's guiding you in this cosmic flow. And so it is. We'll say hello and salute the world that's before us by seeing the light that's inside of ourselves and knowing that it's the same light that's in all beings everywhere. So from my heart to yours, namaste. May you be well. May you know peace. May this serve you for the highest good with harm to none. I will be back again. And I thank you, I thank you, I thank you for being here and being willing to get on the ground and receive the light that you contain.